question, and therefore my group of the Unified European Left will be in favour of this resolution, because in times of crisis, Madam President, dialogue and parliamentary diplomacy is absolutely needed. We should not talk with each other when things are smooth and easy, but especially when they are difficult and dangerous, and we live in difficult and dangerous times.
The Human Rights Commissioner of the Council of Europe reminds us of who we are, that the Council of Europe is the guardian of human rights, social justice and individual liberties.
More equality is not just a goal in itself. Strengthening social cohesion and tolerance and reducing poverty, unemployment, discrimination and social tensions, it's also a precondition to restore trust and economic recovery.
In many countries, the young and educated are pushed to leave their countries to look for job opportunities. These young people, they didn't create the crisis, but they suffer severely consequences and are in danger of losing their hope in the future as they are faced with poverty and social exclusion.
It is by improving our knowledge that we can broaden our views and develop our societies in the right direction. Investing in education is the best medicine for avoiding high unemployment, social problems and economic injustices. It should be natural that all children should have access to a good education in Europe today.
In 1/3 of the member states of the Council of Europe, the share of women in parliament is less than 20%. It's impossible to talk about equal societies when political power is so skewed to the benefit of men.
Election observation is core business of this assembly, but it should also lead to improvement of electoral processes.
We owe Snowden a huge democratic debt.
A well-governed and safe society is one in which citizens may enter online, talk on the phone, use their credit card, read electronic books and send emails without worrying about what intelligence agencies and the state might think of their communications.
And therefore, it is time for us to stand up against this development.
The underlying philosophy of this report, which upholds the principle that in no circumstances should the private interests of the pharmaceutical industry interfere with public health interests.
What measures do you intend to take in the immediate future to align the electoral legislation with the Venice Commission recommendations?
The Council of Europe is a big organization with 47 member states, a whole list of institutions, monitoring bodies, conventions and partial agreements.
I'm now 12 years in this assembly and I see the relation between the European Union and the Council of Europe as a living apart together cooperation. We are there, we need each other. But it's too difficult to go and live in the same house, so we live apart together. And nothing wrong with that, because we are different organizations, we have a different size, we have different structures, different means, different goals. We should not try to unite these two organizations, but to make them work more together.
Every day the European Union spends the total annual budget of the Council of Europe.
It is the responsibility of the Council of Europe to remind member states, the European Union and the international lenders that human rights and equality is not a luxury.
But in financial terms, we are humble, small even.
My group, Madam President, is by far the smallest. We cannot use our votes to really influence the decisions taken here. We can only use our arguments why we are in favour of this resolution as it is and why we oppose amendments who try to change the very nature of it.
But the British government came up with a watertight solution. They defined Iceland as a terrorist state. We were put on a list, an official list, together with Al-Qaeda.
And secondly, do you think that the EU-Turkey deal presents a proper response to the issue, given the dismal record of Turkey regarding the brutal violation of human rights and basic democratic principles?
Help Turkey to settle its own contradictions with its own means, giving strength to civil society, giving strength to political parties, giving strength to citizens' organizations.
We are urged to fight terrorism in all its forms. Let us do that, whether it be terrorism by individuals and groups or by states. Here a mirror could be a good working tool.
Madam President, I'm over here. As a former member of this Assembly, you are very well aware of the importance of upholding the standards of the European Convention on Human Rights and the authority of our court.
The European Court of Human Rights must be strengthened both in terms of financing and human resources by means of structural changes which will allow the judges to work more efficiently.
Politicians should take measures to support civil society groups and associations who are actively campaigning against right-wing extremists.
Let's stick to the facts and let's not accept this amendment because it does not improve the situation as it should.
For the past 5 years, Syria has been in the grip of a brutal civil war.
People in the region are paying a high price as long as the conflict is frozen.
To extend NATO towards the east, ever further towards the east, is one of the bases of this conflict.
Mr. President, if we do not allow parliamentarians to meet, to talk and to decide together, we are on the wrong track in Europe.
The efforts and sacrifices made by the people of Jordan, Lebanon and Turkey put Europe's contribution to shame.
We have really to take responsibility to change whatever we need to change as Europe.
Trying to find a peaceful way out of those contradictions.
I hope that my report and my resolution show that combating terrorism and upholding the standards of the countries of Europe are not contradictory, but they are complementary. If we believe that, if we act along the proposals formulated at the end of the resolution, then I think we can contribute to safeguarding our way of life, that not only my grandson Mats, but all the newborn children will have a fair chance for a happy life. Thank you very much.